aggressive. And I knew about for like 4 or 5 hours before I got him that I was gonna get him. Right? So those 4 or 5 hours, I was so excited, and I was like, oh, okay, what are the first, I'm so behind, I'm 15 months behind, and what am I gonna do with him, right? And of course, the first things that came up were, well, I gotta work his obstacle commitment. That's the most important thing right now. I can't believe I've lost 15 months, right? So I gotta work his obstacle commitment. And then I was thinking, all right, and self-control, because this dog has no self-control, he's crazy. I worked with him in seminars with his old mother before. And I got him home, and that first day, I was like, dear God, I cannot do anything with this dog until I have taught him to line up with me. Because when I would ask him to come in to heel so that he and I could be facing the same direction, it was a fight. It was a border collie, he would be screaming at me, he'd be heading me, he didn't want to do it, right? And that is not the way I want to start my run, ever, right, is with a fight with my dog. And my other dogs all have this skill. So what I do is, and what I think I've made Barb do, made other people do, is I teach my dog to go behind me and then pick up together on the other side. And what that does is it lines them up so they're in heel. I don't have to ask for heel, which is so hard for them to do in this high amped up situation, okay? The way I teach it, okay, I teach one side first, right? And then I take like a week off of doing it, and then I teach the other side, and then I go back and forth, okay? The way I do it is I have one cookie in my luring hand and a whole bunch of cookies in my other hand. The dog always gets the cookie out of the second hand, okay? Stuff. So I put my feet together initially. I lure him with my first hand. As soon as I can, I get him on my second hand, and you can see my hands are you gonna do we need better cookies?
I get some chicken.
How about cheese?
I'd like kisses instead.
I need something better. These are just hard
Does he
cookies.
go around or anything that would help get him around?
No, I don't
Oh,
want
that's
that
right, you
right.
don't want to do that.
I have a couple
Gooey.
of nibs, which I know is a sausage.
I got hamburger.
There's like eight trainers here. Somebody's got
Prime rib. What else we got?
prime rib, steak. I'll go into it.
Really, I'll be doing that.
Ray would do that too. She would stop halfway.
So I have to, he doesn't like hot dog.
Oh, he's got texture issues.
Texture issues.
He does.
What does he like? Cheese? I have cheese.
I have cheese. I'll run up tomorrow.
I've got chicken. I've got cheese. If you want to try
There's cheese in that fridge right there.
Here's more cheese.
Oh, you're getting spoiled.
I'll hang out until I get what I want to say. Stop it. I'm going to keep this if they take it.
All right, let me have a different dog.
You're not ready, but here's some chicken.
So I do want to go through, it's just going to take him a little bit longer because of the pressure, but I do want to show on a dog who will take food from me. He will? All right, let me take him then. Or will you take this? Oh wait, we might have something.
Oh, winner.
We might have something.
Chicken jerky. Soy.
Winner, chicken dinner.
He wants it.
He just
Normally I don't let them eat out of this hand.
Stuff special.
oh, he's special. Special.
All right,
Good word for
we'll
him.
do the little white dog. And this will work for him, you've just got to be a little more patient, right? So with him, the only thing I'm going to change, I would let him take cookies out of the first hand a few times.
I had to do that, Amanda, to get her to go around because she was so used to coming through me.
Yeah.
So I had to get her to go around.
All right, let me take the little white one. Can she have any sort of food? Come on, here.
It's chicken jerky.
Yeah, bring them out, Chris.
Just a little bit of soy.
We don't need those two boys saying hi.
All right, but Chris, you're still taking this, right? Okay. So, again, my legs are going to be together to start. I'm going to lure with my first hand, and then I'm going to let the dog eat out of my second. Okay? And now he's eating some nice cookies there. Good boy. I'm also going to throw, eventually. Okay? So again, I lure, and then he eats and then I row. Again, fish.
He's like, this is awesome.
Okay, Loki. So again, I lure, and that's common. They start saying, well, you know, I'd rather just go straight to that side because I know where the cookie's coming. But of course you don't let them. Once they're doing well, start adding a little bit of motion. So you see how now I have my dog side leg back a little bit. So I'm going to come back and close. Come get it. Come get it.
Mommy, what is going on?
You. Get the cookies. Good job. Good job. It's because these are not breaking off. No.
I know, they're hard to break. That's one of the things I'm learning.
Good boy. There you go. There you go. Good boy. So again, you start with the hands touching. They take the food out of the second one. Very quickly, in fact, he's already kind of ready to start taking a step back and then just tossing the cookie forward. Okay?
Call it anything?
I do, once my dog starts to get the idea. I don't start calling it anything until they start to get the idea. I call it switch, okay? So my dog will be where Barb is, jump, switch, right? And then we line up and we go off together. And I really like this game for, the main reason is because it completely eliminates fights at the start line. And my border collies are, as Betty Bellevue calls them, heathens. They're heathens. And they don't want to come into heel. They want to go, and that's like the hardest thing for them in the world when they're amped up. And so instead of and they know those behaviors, and I could fight with them and I could get it, but it's much easier to just start with sending them around behind me. It allows me to get 2 or 3 feet ahead, and I don't have to work on my start line all the time. Okay?
That's only when you don't need a start line. Is that like a...
Well, it gives me a few feet. It gives me a few feet. So like in this situation, if the start is a tunnel, I always start them that way.
Yeah.
Oftentimes on a start line, even at a trial, you don't need a start line. So, I mean, at trials, probably I only use it about 20% of the time because I often do want to have a start line in the trial. In training, 90% of the time, this is how I start because I really don't like doing a sit-stay with my dogs without going back and rewarding them a lot. In fact, my rule for my young dogs is they get rewarded 4 out of 5 times in position. That takes a long time, and I don't have a long time, right? So if I'm gonna put my young dog in a start stay, I'm training that, right? And so if I'm just doing a sequence, this is how I do it. The other thing that I really like about this game, and it's somewhat unusual, there are other things that have this as well, but it works on 2 things. Not only does it work on motivation and drive, because all of a sudden there's chasing mama. When they come out of it, you are always moving. So in the beginning, yes, I'm standing still because I'm still working on the mechanics, but very quickly, every time the dog gets sent around, I'm running forward. So there's this aspect of chase, right, which builds motivation, okay? So 1, it works on motivation and drive. 2, it works on self-control because the dog has to leave what they want and go around behind you to get what they want, which is what's in front of you. And very few things, I think, work on both of those 2 things, since those are kind of opposites. Does that make sense? Okay. I told you, I can't live without this. This was the first thing I taught my 15-month-old dog, because that's how important I think. When I get an 8-week-old puppy, it's not the first thing I teach them, but a dog who I'm trying to actually work with, I need this skill. Does that make sense?
I also would add that for me, when I'm practicing the start line at home, and it becomes this sort of frustrating point, or it's, I need to do the exercise that you want me to do, it's just easier to do this, and so that I can get the training in, and I can do the start line another day, or I go out and I do it a couple times, and then I immediately go into this so that we can just get the drill down, so I can post it and move on my way.
Yes.
And so it does help in that way. I do it in front of tunnels too. That's like
Well, and I do think that a lot of the start line crap happens because people set their dogs up for a start line every single exercise. I can't tell you how many times I've yelled at people where the start of my sequence is a circle tunnel, and they put them in a sit stay, they move 1 foot to the side, and then release the dog. If If you are releasing your dog to an obstacle, you can think of that as giving them a cookie for breaking. Okay? Now, yes, you've given them the release. Yes, you've allowed it, but you are rewarding forward. Right? And you really don't want to reward forward when your dog's in a swim. Anyway, little tangent. Okay, good?
Somebody.
Good.